voice too quiet?
I love this music.
Is the stream really laggy?
I don't think it's laggy.
It's lagging on my end. I think the latency is too low.
I hear a lot of echo.
Yeah, me too. Is it because you're watching the stream on the?
Yeah, that's fixed. I've never actually streamed before, other than like.
The volume is too soft. Okay. So Discord. Okay, let's get that up then. So my mic needs to go up, and then application beta needs to go up. Talk again.
Yeah, what's up? Oh,
Is the music too loud?
I think the music's too loud. Yeah.
Alright.
That music's too loud. I told you to put it on low.
Yeah.
I put that shit on low.
Try it again. Oh man.
There we go. That's much better. That is much better.
Man, it's picking you up from.
Oh, I know why it is.
Yeah, it's picking both of the music and you at the same time, which is not good. Okay, just give me a second, man. We're gonna do Silent Hill. There you go. So what is this one? I have no clue which is better to better one. Try talking one more time.
Yo.
So it's mixing your voice in with the yeah.
You can just not do the music if that's hard.
Yeah, I think if we have to do that.
Try one more time because I paused the stream again. Is that better?
Try hello talk.
Is that better now? Does it work?
Yeah. Okay. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be well, today we're going to be talking with Twilight Struggle creator Indy.
Hello.
Hello everyone.
My name is Indy. I'm the creator of Twilight Struggle, the Kaiserite Cold War mod, and recently I have kind of disengaged from the mod and sort of went my own way. And Aerolog and me, he kind of reached out to me, sort of talk about like my prospects, or not really my prospects, but my thoughts on modding, and also how I sort of like, what was it you said, like the how a creator should approach designing for a mod, and like how they should sort of my experiences and whatnot. Is that what you generally wanted to hear?
Yeah. It's essentially
Alrighty.
essentially that.
Well, hang on, I can post this for more people if they want to hear it.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great, man. So I'm getting a lot of echo here. So sorry about this, everyone. This is our
Oh, I know what to do about that. Is that better?
I think it's me actually.
Yeah, it might be.
Fortunately. So, we're here talking to Indy. So Indy here is the creator of the upcoming Kaiserreich Cold War mod Twilight Struggle. It's a world where, you know, Germany still wins the World Krieg, but there is, you know, a resurgent international.
Would you like me to explain?
Yeah, you can explain it.
Twilight Struggle is a world that flash freezes the conflicts of Kaiserreich into the decade of 1960 in order to create a Cold War timeline. In this world, the German Empire triumphed once again in Europe, and the socialists of the CSA, or now the WCA, have won in America. Japan, having no opposition in Asia realistically, triumphed over all their opposition and stated Fenshin as their ally in China. And Russia was defeated in arms, but sort of was able to sign a peace similar to a kind of the Arkhangelsk-Astrakhan line, and managed to sort of escape that way. And by that I mean the Savinkovist regime, so they remained and survived from the war, but only in a sense out in Siberia. The east and the west, far east and far west of Russia were able to break free as the Far Eastern states and Free Russia, respectively. Africa was colonized almost entirely except for South Africa and Egypt, and Latin America has been rewritten entirely from Kaiserreich to be sort of our own creation from all the way from 1917 all the way to 1960.
That's a good description of it. So Indy has recently stopped working for Twilight Struggle, and he's continued on to his own more personal projects. So Indy, explain the Pound Presidency to us also, one of your other mods.
Oh, that's just like, I call the Pound Presidency something like a real passion project. I made that in like last year, May. I got one of my buddies, he posted a portrait of Ezra Pound, and I have always kind of like been sort of interested in Ezra Pound because I did a project on him in high school. So I decided I would make a mod with him, and I took that one single portrait, and this supposed to be every portrait artist dream to have like this happen to them, but I took a single portrait and I made like an entire mod. I made the character file, I made everything. I just took this image and I was able to like get a huge amount of passion to create the Pound Presidency. Now the Pound Presidency envisions, you know, well, you don't know, but it envisions a new fascist path for America, I guess I want to say, but it has a lot more nuance to it than that. I want to say it's kind of like an American version of like Festung Europa almost, like where you can have like cool custom puppets and you get like your own
Yes.
You get your own like faction and stuff. I think people would like to hear more about Twilight Struggle though, and like more.
So what was the so why did you start doing the Twilight Struggle? What was the big, thing behind it?
The big thing about it, okay, so Twilight Struggle has a very strange origin story. Initially, I conceived it with my friend Lvov. He was my Rusky buddy from years ago. And we sort of made this timeline together. Oh, my mouth is so dry.
It's alright, man. Take your time.
We sort of made this timeline together that was, imagining mostly an alternate Russia. In fact, Russia is... People often criticize. I think the thing we get criticism most on, but also loved the most, is the Russian National Redemption State. And people love that because it's like kind of insane, but also really interesting and intricate. But also people hate it because they think it's sort of stupid and against the spirit of Kaiserreich. Where was I? You remind me of the question again?
Well, what's the origin behind Twilight Struggle, basically?
Right. The origin actually has to do with my friend, another guy I knew at the time. He's not really my friend anymore, though. I don't actually... Asked me to borrow the mod, or he asked me to borrow the GitHub repository I had made with Lvov for our own project. And Lvov and I basically made our own timeline together. And that was back in 2022. I made a map with another person. That happened. A year later, another guy, and this is where this is the weird part. Initially, the Motto server was created by another person who I'd let borrow my repository. He couldn't code, so he asked me to do it for him.
You did. Right. So how did this bloom start gaining traction, getting like very big
Soldier sounds are louder than Indy. Lower the SFX, please.
Sorry, guys. I'm
Associated
really
things.
sorry about that. All right, here we go.
Yeah, bro. You fix the audio.
Yeah, fixed. Audio is fixed. All right. So again, how did you know?
Basically, my buddy borrowed my repository. I let him use it. He couldn't code, so he asked me, and eventually there was sort of a conflict, like very early in the mod, and this is sort of unknown. But I managed to get the mod transferred back to me from him, and he agreed. Actually, it wasn't really a conflict because, actually no, he agreed to do that. Yeah, no, he was totally fine with it. He only got upset about it afterwards.
And then,
But
so continue.
he
on.
was. Anyways, once I got the back control of the mod, as like the original creator of the timeline, I kind of just kept developing it with my team that I had already built from that point with the previous owner, and we just kept from there. Eventually, I want to say we kept going for like 3 months after this is like a period of spring 2025, and then until summer. Summer starts is where like Twilight Struggle gets really interesting. Summer 2025. And then, because we get the Lore Dad video, and that brings so much, like, hype to us. That just brings in so much hype. That thing has 100,000 views.
I think that was a very
like,
big event. Very big event during the, well, the whole, history of Twilight Struggle, I suppose, because, you basically grew your team, you grew your server, grew your community, and brought a lot of, attention to you guys.
Yeah, I had to work like crazy fucking hard for this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you saw that 1,607 commits in 2025.
The GitHub comments were insane. But that brings me to another point. So, you've obviously been the biggest person behind the mod. What would you say is the defining feature of Twilight Struggle?
Defining feature?
The defining feature. What makes Twilight Struggle Twilight Struggle? TNO had Atlantroka, TFR has, the Civil War. What makes Twilight Struggle?
So something that really stands out, like a setting. Do you mean like, well, Civil War and Atlantroka, sort of? When I think of something that stands out, what makes Twilight Struggle, honestly, I want to say Russia.
The Free Russian Republic.
That? I want to say all of Russia. I know that sounds insane, but the heart and soul of the mod is there.
Because it started out as a Russian, like not Russian, but Russian-centered mod.
It's not really centered, it's just that's sort of where the heart and soul is.
The heart and soul of TNO, if you guys know what that means.
Yeah. Because, like, initially all the hype, because initially the reason that, that guy wanted, the person who initially created the server wanted to, and was inspired by my timeline was because he liked the Russia scenario. And I, agreed, it was kind of cool. And after refining it a lot, and I mean, I had to rework Russia so much to get it right. We almost removed the redemption state and entirely replaced it with a unified, the Far Eastern Army, Dietrich's path from Kaiserreich. We almost removed the entire redemption state. We removed all the Savin harvest and just replaced it with one unified warlord. Or one unified Tsardom. I'm sorry. USSA, I always felt like, I want to say USSA is like, yeah, that's also very true. USSA is like the second best.
Yeah,
but to me, the heart and soul and the origin story of Twilight Struggle is always on that cold frontier between Free Russia and the RNRS staring competition between Europe and Asia, where the last war just ended, and now, like, in the frontier, the sort of enemies of the last regime that have just fallen are sort of regathering their strength, and while the Emperor of the world, Germany, is ruling, obviously these tiny nations in the shadows are sort of reaccumulating themselves. And there's other titans in the world other than Germany. There's like Japan, and I'm speaking in like metaphorical terms that aren't real. I know that sounds weird, but I have a very like artistic design with the way I design things.
Mhm.
Ukraine guy is going to be so sad, Indy. Is that my boy Mito? I love Mito
Hey,
so much.
Mito. Hey, what's up? Anyways, continue on.
What do you want me to continue on?
Yeah, we just keep talking about Twilight Struggle, man. I'm very interested.
Okay, well, I want to talk about, let me see what your gameplay is. I want to rate this gameplay.
It's bad. It's from last stream. We I did early war rush. Got Poland, Baltics. We're just gonna go in on that. It's essentially, look, I'm trying to basically just tell everyone, vanilla's way too easy. It really is.
Vanilla's except for Britain, bro. Britain's insane in vanilla.
Yeah, ever since the update, yeah. But I digress. Let's continue on with your Twilight Struggle line of questioning. So, Indy, right.
Anyone who has questions about Twilight Struggle can ask them in the chat, by the way, or like
Yeah.
about the design, or like about modding, or like how they want to do their own mods. If you have a question for like how you want to start your mod, because I've done this since 2020. Yeah, 2020. I've done this since 2020 December, and I think I should start passing on some of the things I've learned at this point to other people.
Should.
So-
You're an experienced modder, Indy. So you've been modding since 2022. Twilight Struggle started, what, yeah, 2024?
No, 2020. I've been modding since 2020.
2020. And Twilight Struggle started in 2024.
The first 3 years of my modding career were pretty eventless, but they got more exciting later on.
Let's see. Are you what? So, Indy, you're the type of modder who, since you're head dev, most head devs, eventually they're forced to have to do a lot of work, GFX, portraits, a bunch of other things. Were you ever like that, or did you just stick to coding, stick to your strengths?
I design and I code. I hate writing with a passion. I absolutely hate typing like fancy sentences that have to like sound nice so people can read them.
Oh.
I like making cool game mechanics and awesome wars that players can fight and win.
What about art?
I also love making actual fun content that's really enjoyable.
Yeah, what about art? I know a lot of head devs, including myself, are forced to have to like end up learning GFX and making art ourselves. What about you?
Oh, I've learned how to make advisors. Also, I know how to make flags, but like everyone can make a flag.
Yeah, everyone can make flags. Okay, that's a good. So.
But I can make advisors. But
Since
everyone
you've-
can do that too.
Yeah.
So I code, buddy. I code.
You're a coder.
I'm a
Coder.
codes machine. Codes
So
machine.
you've been you've been modding for years, right? You're a long time modder. So throughout your time, what are some things that you've seen in the Hoi4 mods that are really bad? That lead to stagnation, bad game design. What are some good things? What are some good things that you've applied yourself and you've seen work really well? And I'd like to hear your thoughts on these things.
Okay, first thing you need to do. This is how you make a good mod. This is how you have a good. Everyone, this is Indy's guide to have a great modding career, if you even view it that way, which is a really dumb way to view it, but whatever. You should just mod for fun. Don't ever mod for like a career or like a. Don't ever view it as anything other than a hobby, because the instant you start doing that, you end up like me. And that's not a good thing. You don't want to be like me. Anyways. So, first things first, do not make a total conversion mod. I'm just gonna say that if you're starting out to make your first mod, do not make a total conversion mod. Do not make like a... Do not think you and you little Jimmy and your little friends Johnny and Joe, they cannot make the next TNO in over summer break, okay? They cannot.
Takes years.
The next thing you need to learn is that you need basically like you basically need a socialist system of governance, and I don't mean a fucking that as like you need like a Reddit system of governance. No, you need the fucking Soviet system of governance. You need to be like a principle of recall, so you can just like if someone wait no I said lower.
Chain of accountability.
You know what principle of recall is? Yes, you need to be very accountable. You need to have a sort of like decentral planning is what I'm really getting at, is like the sense of decentral planning. Like you need to have, okay, this is the best way you organize a team. You have one guy at top who's like a faceless bureaucrat. He's the owner, right? He's the server registers as the owner. He's also the owner, right? Of the Steam. He's also the owner of the GitHub, yeah. And that guy's just faceless bureaucrat. He has no emotions. He doesn't care about drama. He's just And he's a code
machine.
guy. He's a coder. He's just
Does his
he
work.
just faces the machine.
Yeah.
He does work, but he doesn't.
He doesn't get involved with the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then under that you should have like his immediate keys to power, and whoever can also. And by keys to power, I don't mean to like maintain some sort of illusion of order. That's like, okay, if you're like one of those drama people that actually care about setting up like fucking. Yeah, exactly. The lead has to mug everyone else. That is absolutely correct. Pin that comment. Okay, pin that guy.
Which one?
The lead has to constantly mug. This is why I used my real face as my PFP in the Twilight Struggle dev server. I used my real face as my PFP for a while because I look like a total fucking Chad. I sound horrible. I sound like a fucking like twink, dude. But I look like a Chad.
I can confirm Indy looks like a Chad. He mogs.
You've seen like that fucking.
Do you remember that time someone said he was threatening to dox you, and then I showed it to you, and I said, honestly, if this guy tries to dox you, it'll just make you look better anyway.
Yeah, I don't. He tried to dox me with the like the fucking Arno Brecker ass photo, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that.
But he looked good in that one, dude.
I know. I look like a fucking statue.
Yeah, man. Anyways, what was I saying? So
We need good ways to organize a mod. Okay.
Let's go back. Yeah, let's
First
go
thing,
back to.
no, super important detail. Coders first and coders forever. The mod will only happen, and mods only happen because of code in them. Okay.
100%
They don't
agree with you
happen
there.
because of designers and writers like have ideas. So if you consider yourself like a modder and all you do is write localization, you're not a modder actually. You're just someone that should join my team and work for me. No, sorry. Did I mention I had like a... Never mind. Anyways, I'm in a good mood. Thank you, Mr. Aerolog.
Nah, 100% agree with you that one. I see a lot of people, they're like, oh, this, that, but I 100% agree. If there is no code, there is no mod. There's a lot of people.
No, but you also need to put the coders in charge. Like, you need to give them an extra leverage of direction. Like, you can't just have, like, some ideas guy. If you want things to get done and you want them to be correct and well-made, you have to have... Okay, this is what you do. Let's say I want to develop France, right?
Yeah.
I take the most educated French person on the team, whoever knows the most things about France. It doesn't matter if they can code, write, art, and I throw them in a room. I basically make them the sort of assistant to whoever the most ambitious coder for France is. Whoever wants to code France the most. So I put the most code talent with the most knowledge talent. And I let them basically run wild. The most perfect situation in this, I think, in Twilight Struggle has to be, like, USGA. Also Ottomans. Britain for a while. Like, I want to shout out, like, the LOL and Umut. They were amazing devs. Like, I just had them. I said, okay, go crazy. And they just cooked like fucking madmen on their respective nations. But you have to be, like... You have to be careful about who you let do that. You can't just let any guy who can do things do the things.
So that helps when there's the team cohesion, right? It's like when you know who you're working with and you can trust them well. Trust them to do their job.
Moldova, I mean. You're the real Chad. Salute. Anyways,
let's continue on. So, you prefer the decentralized style, and that's a big thing. A lot Kaiserreich follows a decentralized style. Who else?
Well, okay, so here's another important thing. The owner, at least in early times... Okay, so I'm a little different, right? I had a very, like, upfront and direct leadership style. I was very, like... I led from the front, you could say. I was a leader, not a boss, kind of thing. But, Stop texting me. I'm on fucking stream. Sorry about that, folks. Can you remind me where we were? I'm sorry, someone texted me on
Well, we're
my
talking
phone.
about the
And it's 2 a.m.
decentralized
Yeah, you
structure.
need to let the
Oh no. Oh,
you need to let the owner
oh no.
what?
My fleet just got obliterated. Oh no. I lost my
That's
part of the
why my
fleet.
struggles till I Indy, based man.
This is why I don't. Oh, I hate Navy, man. I
Okay,
lost.
so what you need to make sure that the head devs of at least if he's like an active guy, like I was a bit of a unique position for that because I was so active and led from the front. I was in a unique position to be a to have this like let me reword that. Because I led from the front, I needed to make sure that everyone could be like what's the term? Responsible
Right.
in getting back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have some way where at least the owner can hold final veto power.
Yes.
I always recommend that veto power as like the final absolute thing if you want to just ensure it.
Mm-hmm.
I think 6-7 is pretty good, but I want to say
6,
69
7.
was great too. Like I remember when 69 was a funny number, bro. They took that away from us.
Anyways, where were we? So you need a veto power, right?
Yeah, I'd say you gotta let the senior devs retain some level of veto. Not like force content, but they should be able to say no to content. That sounds bad.
Mm.
And
But
to
in
a
the yeah.
degree, I think that is a problem with certain mods. I will not deny that there are mods where you have owners, or you have like the top guys who own all the what you call permissions on the quote unquote servers, or what they use for collection of developments, as they say. Because really, this happens across 3 platforms: Discord, Steam, not really. Steam is like the last option for it, and GitHub.
Yeah.
Discord is where like the actual public management of it goes. Uh, and also I'd say that like the actual GitHub is the real important thing. Honestly, you don't need a public server. I agree with Hansen. Hansen said it once actually
Yeah.
that you should just have a dev server and not a public server.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, that's like he's right. Hansen's right.
Samson's a good friend of mine. I think public servers are sort of for recruiting, so you're doing it to recruit, basically. Because the whole point of it, there's a bad cycle of
That's
hoi
true.
fumori.
Yeah.
People,
Okay, so yeah, there is a cycle of teasing to get recruits, and
yeah.
then I remember my first mod, I developed a bad habit of teasing a lot because I never could get devs that could like help me. So I just sort of my first mod kind of was a teaser mod, I want to say. I actually do think it was by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not by the end. It actually did have working content by the end.
Well, that's a
But I want to say that like as the time went on, I had to make teasers to get content, but let's say I never got really outgrew that habit, and then Twilight Struggle, I would tease things all the time, but not really because I needed devs. It was like a positive reason because I was happy about what I made and I wanted to show people.
mhm.
I love the support like I got on Twilight Struggle. The amount of people being happy to see me make something just made me so happy. I worked on a similar mod that was Never Forget Browder. Yeah, I'll let that slide. I actually don't care. You can forget. You can remember Browder. That's fine. You can totally remember Browder. Who cares if you remember Browder?
I see. So what were we? So you
Yeah,
were talking
Yeah,
about.
please feel free to correct me and put me back on track as much as possible because it's fucking 3 a.m., dude, and I'm gonna just like yap about
It's
anything I
alright,
want.
dude. I had a which one? I had an interview actually one time at 4 a.m. with Mango. So it's fine by me. Anyway, so where were we? So what we were talking about, veto power, choosing mods. Right. So choose a mod. That's a big cycle hoi for modding. What do you think is, do you think that's a big reason why hoi for mods never release?
Okay, so this is what everyone. People seem to make a weird assumption about what they call a Toozer mod with the idea that it is something people go out of their way to do. And that's just like ridiculous because that's not actually how it develops. That's like saying Hoi 4 modding causes extremism. But it actually does. What causes it, it's actually, okay, so Toozer modding is like a result. A Toozer mod is a result of bad management, bad premise, bad anything, maybe it was just unlucky. But it's essentially they need to constantly, it's a cycle that you get trapped in where developers need to feel they need to release as many teasers as they can without actually properly having the means, or they don't actually want to put it back in because they don't have the motivation. And by put it back in, I mean into the GitHub, into the mods folder. When they make work, it might not actually go to the mod. They might just hope that someone can save them from it.
I see.
By getting a new dev that can save their own mod. A lot of people start Hoi for modding not really knowing how much work it is. Here's the thing about coding. It's not hard. It's just a shit ton of fucking work. It is so much work.
It's not a fun thing to do, honestly. When you're modding Hoi 4, it literally just drains you sometimes.
Only thing that's... Okay. So, I want to say something. I'm a bit more of a classic modder. I was here before the New Order. I was here before Red Flood even. Before all these, like... You know, far left, far right, far fucking retarded, whatever you would name you be it, people showed up. Or before, like... Modding, I don't know. I remember when modding was, like, not about... Okay, I had this conversation with, Another thing I remember from old modding was, like, the difference in how they represented, how they represented extremism and radicalism differently.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say,
Red
like,
Flood,
the... Yeah, like, Red Flood is what kind of revolutionized the whole idea of, like, what it means to be a politically radical ideology in a Hoi 4 mod.
You know, but again, I don't agree with the premise. Oh, Hoi 4 modding causes violent extremism. I think it's pure cope. I personally think it's just the usual video games cause violence and stuff. I really don't believe in stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the other way around.
Yeah, I think
it's not. It's definitely not that.
to it.
That's what I literally told you earlier today. You just stole
Yeah,
that from
you
my
did.
mouth. Anyways.
Continue on.
What else did I want to say? My best advice to anyone making a mod is to make, like, a smaller mod that you really get passionate about, that focuses on something fun, creative, and that exploits a new creative potential that hasn't been used before so you can find your own niche. That last part is important for actual, what you would call success. The other two are more so important for your enjoyment and your, you know, fulfillment with it, which is what the main thing is. Because I'm going to keep it real honest with you, modding doesn't get you anything unless you, like, make a Patreon.
Which Zara tried
Just
doing
being crap pisses them off. Hey, the Unknown Droid is pissed off, dude. You should help him out. I'm just kidding.
What happened? Oh yeah, but the Patreon thing, well, TFR tried that. That went very poor.
Oh, I want. That's what I did to Hoi for modding.
The stream being cropped pisses me off. I can't do anything about that. It's OBS. How do I uncrop the stream?
I think Red Flood has a lot more influential than people think it is, and more, like, in ways that people don't think it is. It's not influential anymore, I don't want to say. Like, no one really plays Red Flood as their favorite mod anymore.
No, not
right?
Really. It's sort of
like,
a dead mod.
Yeah, no one really plays it. The devs don't really update it as much, I don't think.
Yeah, I wouldn't call
and
them
they don't have... Yeah, not in the Big 26. No. But, when they first released, dude, it was, like, amazing. Like, it was so fun to just, like... They had this way of making, like... because initially it had been done, yeah, kind of like what Coldova says. It was more similar to vanilla factionalism. And what he means by that, I want to say, is the sort of idea that these were just extremist fringe groups that you had to work really hard to get, or they were sort of like always treated as something cursed. There is a line. I remember joining the Red Flood server the first time when I first made my YouTube channel. When I was a YouTuber a long time ago. And one of the first lines I read in there was the wholesome blessed, or the blessed curse, because they didn't even used to say wholesome back in the day, like from Reddit. They used to say blessed back in like the days. The blessed cursed axis is dead. Long live the schizo axis. And then that word was just born, the schizo. And that became like the thing to describe extremism in Hoi 4. I want to say that was the sort of, what I'm getting at here is the sort of revelation around the sort of esotericness of the ideologies. The more people got interested in the, like, idea of you could, okay, so, like, you know, exploring, like, alternate government types, or government systems, rather than just alternate histories, the more the game and the mods, I feel like, and this is what I'm getting at, kind of got derailed from its original intent of Hoi 4 modding. I actually blame Red Flood more so than, say, others than, like, TNO for causing, like, not like the devs or anything, just like the mod itself.
But it's, you know, it popularized that sort of content.
Yeah, Hoi 4, I think RF actually is more the one that inspired it to be the political simulator, because RF, and I want to say another thing about RF. RF was only successful because of drag. Drag is what commodified extremism in the first place on the internet. Without you know drag, right? J-Rag, or whatever you people call him. I call him drag, but you remember that name?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It's 2026. We don't say, do you know Dreg? We say, do you remember Dreg? Because it's 2026. That guy's irrelevant. Anyways, that guy is the only reason Red Flood actually could latch on to the mass majority, because he mimetically sort of twisted all the grandiose ideologies of the interwar period, the World War, into sort of this funny, like, skit videos. Like, the Nazi, he fights with the communist, and then they declare global war. And that's the entire plot of Censorcide or something. I don't know. I forgot. I forgot what his actual point was that. And then he, like, made a video saying he was sorry that he took too long and never uploaded again or something. I don't know. Kind of scrubbed. Anyways, sorry, I had to talk about Dreg for a bit because I hate Dreg.
It's alright, man.
By the way, am I cooking or no?
You are cooking.
Chat, tell me, am I cooking? Anyways.
I'm gonna cut the stream maybe half an hour because I do have some stuff I need to do. But keep going.
We're cooking.
We're cooking, yeah. Let's keep going, man.
When Red Flood allowed, because Red Flood enabled the idea that, hey, ideology is what you want in the game, not cores, not party popularity,
not big Germany.
These sort of like, yeah, not big Germany. You don't want to be big Germany. You want to be accelerationist. You want to be wacky. You want to be like all these things. Kaiserreich actually managed to sort of incorporate this next, actually, where they only started, and they did it with like democracy. I want to say they made democracy more interesting than any other mod, but the real big turning point was when, I want to say, it's really TNO that took the concept of politics as the medium of the game rather than war and history, and expanded onto that until it was more so a glorified what's the game? The campaign trail.
Campaign trails, yeah, that's a big critique.
I don't. Oh, it's a critique. Okay, I'm sorry. I play campaign trail, so I have no idea what the game is like. I just know like it's very like U.S. politics based, and like you click elections. Actually, no, I played it once. I won as like. But I'm watching this during my math finals, dog. Kenshi's. I really hope you don't doing this during your math finals. I don't know you, but Indy compels you to go finish math and succeed in life. Indy is not someone who wants you to stay inside all day. Indy wants the fellows to succeed. Actually, I'm the GOAT, but you can pass too. That's great.
I hate New
Oh,
Navy, by the way.
true. Red Autumn SPD. That's a great comparison. They should
That
make
is-
a Hoi 4 mod that's literally like a fucking RimWorld where like you build little make like we need like RimWorld but it's Plankton's New Order. And you build little colonies.
I love Franklin's New Order.
That'd be peak.
Why is Plankton's New Order actually so good? Not gonna lie.
Because he just put a lot of effort into it. Also, he's Russian. Russian's like
It was in my
okay,
chat,
so Russian mods are
owner was
either
in my
like
chat.
yeah, Russian mods are either like I learned this from my ex-Russian buddy. Or no, yeah, I'm friends with him again. I love Lvov. My king, Lvov. He's the guy who is the actual true other founder. Not whole, as someone was saying, but like the actual like who the guy I created the timeline with initially. Anyways, he taught me that like Russian mods and Russian modding, you have like a good percentage of them that the coders straight up don't know how to speak the English syntax.
Oh.
And then the other half are really fucking good, like amazing.
So it's a 50-50.
Yeah, it's like a 50-50 extreme polarization in Russian modding. That's what I've heard about it, at least, from people on like yeah, on the like Russian end of the internet. Because there's like there's like other ends of the internet. There's like people who don't know this. There's other ends of the internet that aren't in your language, and there's whole spaces and communities and different like mediums and different apps they use in their countries. Like, have you seen Billy in China, dude? Like, they have everything themselves. They have their whole like their own little internet. They have their own little internet. 1 billion people too.
Yeah, and that's when they use of the Great Firewall. And Hansen had his video stolen on Billy Kill, which is very funny. But I digress. Let's continue on.
I've had a lot of things stolen on Billy. I've had like jewelry. Oh wait, what?
You have jewelry stolen on Billy.
Oh, chains. A few. No, I'm sorry.
Huh? What's
No,
up?
I'm just kidding.
You've
What?
had your chain stolen on Billy?
Dude, I think all my supplies were taken on some Billy, dude. All my supplies. Yes, that's another thing about TFR. The devs are fucking geniuses in terms of gameplay. They want to make something fucking fun, dude. I love the TFR devs.
I love them too.
People are like, no, you can't just say you love the gameplay, you hate the game. There's people like who hate the gameplay loop, right? They hate the whole gameplay loop idea. But I think it's genius. You can say whatever you want about like their politics, the devs' politics, or like those people, what's his name, Czar? He's not in the mod anymore even. Don't talk about him. You can say whatever you want about like Russians in the mod or whatever. The mod is good. It's really good. It's amazing. I think TFR has been the best thing to happen to this game. Yeah, it's been the best thing to happen to this game since like Kaiserreich.
And that's a opinion many do not hold, including the Canadian government. But I digress. Let's.
I think that's a opinion that the majority do hold. Only a few unsavory, dying off few still cling to a wish that it could be not true.
Right. So regardless of
the order isn't new and the flood is dying away. Let me tell you that.
I think
we already discussed the flood has receded. The waves, dude. Okay, remember the tsunami, the Red Flood tsunami in 2019? It's gone. It doesn't even come in 3 feet during high tide. That's where we're at.
We're at that stage, huh?
They didn't meet their quota of a yearly update last year, I don't think. So, The tide didn't even recede last year, or didn't even come back up last year. Come up.
This is bad for you.
I don't live near a tide.
This is bad.
Yeah, we should get back talking to Twilight Struggle instead of me ranting about how I'm like.
Yeah. Oh, this is not good. Okay.
What are you doing?
I am trying to do the paradrap strat on England, and I'm absolutely cooked. Okay, this is where you like reload the game. So the exploit is for paratroopers. You sort of reload the game. You exit the menu, you quit, and then you reload it again, and then the paradrap will be gone. Sort of an old strat, but
That's so crazy.
so
I
let's
never
talk
use
about-
this strategy.
let's talk about Struggle. How is
Yo, can I be right back real quick? I'll be right back.
Alright, sure.
Yeah, I
everyone,
gotta use the bathroom.
Indy will
I'm
be
sorry.
back. We are doing prime gameplay on Hoi 4 now. Prime gameplay of someone who did a run just for fun in the last stream when we were talking, and now I have no idea what to do. Who's the guy who donated me 100,000 Vietnamese dollars last time? I know you're here somewhere. But anyways, where were we? Right, so Indy's been, Twilight Struggles, yeah. Twilight Struggles head dev, he left, we'll get into that, but he did leave. Anyways, today's stream is mainly due to me there is a cyclone here today, but the guy who did what? Hello? Am I too soft? It's like my voice is soft. Well, did they?
You know his
did they-
voice isn't soft?
Oh no, they patched the freaking exploit, dude. No.
Oh, dude, you just got touched.
Oh wait, they haven't. Oh. They actually patched.
No
the
way,
exploit.
they did that to you. Paradox, why would you do that to him?
Patched
That's
the
evil.
exploit. Oh, there's nothing on.
That's
Paradox.
evil, bro.
The British AI has like.
That's
nothing
evil.
built in. Oh, okay.
Demonic, dude.
Alright, we will play another game now. I play all bad games to play Paradox. Yeah, blame Paradox, guys. Alright, so where were we? Let's keep talking about Twilight Struggle.
Oh, the storytelling in TFR is awful, no offense to the devs. I love their work, and the mod is fun. The writing is so bad, dude. It's so bad. It reminds me of, like, okay, one of the mods I worked on earlier on, before Twilight Struggle it was like a Red Flood Cold War mod. I hated working there, and only worked there really should have only worked there the first time I was there. Because I had basically 2 sittings of working there, and I should have only stayed for the first one. I should have just left after, like, summer 23. Anyways, where was the comment I was trying to respond to? Yeah, I remember the writing in every single event we wrote being so amateur. Like, I remember there being, like, a hard R someone wanted to include in an event for an anarchist country. And I'm like, how does that even make sense?
Yeah.
Mind you, it was the leader of the country saying it, but whatever. I don't... Okay.
Lads, what should I play as now? What should I play as? That was a very bad
Dude, you
German
wanna know
game.
something based? Wanna know something based to play? Download. You should play TPP and play Shandong.
Oh, that took me a while to download. If you guys wanna.
It's like 200 megabytes, but okay. It's like 100
You know
even.
what? Let's play TPP. You know what? Everyone, hold on.
Play Shandong, bro.
I need to put something on for them to look at though.
Or just play Latvia, I don't know. Latvia's actually really goated.
Latvia
Love.
in what? In vanilla?
Yeah, bro.
Okay,
Form the Baltics, like, form like the East. Form like the, you can do the thing where you, like, go, like, you let those pagan guys take over or whatever
Oh,
they're called,
Ostland.
conquest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ostland, join Germany.
Mhm.
And then you can actually, I don't know, it's low-key, kind of good. I like Latvia and vanilla.
Alright, so where were we? So let's keep going on. Let's talk about the Pound Presidency. Let's talk about Okay. So you were always very interested in
Yeah, so I made that. I kind of already did give the backstory on that mod. I made it in like 3 weeks on a group chat with some friends. He made it, like, I made a portrait, I got inspired, I made the group chat. We got all together and we sat down for about 3 weeks and just kind of cranked it out. And I had fun. And then I tested it. Well, I tested it, then uploaded it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done a mod before where they uploaded it for testing.
So my
Like
microphone
this
needs to go up, apparently. Alright. So that's Pound Presidency. So, you know, what were we talking about earlier? So Twilight Struggle again. You as a model, you've left Twilight Struggle, right? I assume you were pretty burned out working. You want to really focus on the Pound Presidency, right?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I was looking at something.
No worries. So you're no longer working at Twilight Struggle, right? And I assume it's because you were getting tired. You really wanted to focus on the Pound Presidency.
Well, I didn't want to focus on another mod. I needed to focus on my life because I've actually put so much into modding. I didn't leave enough for me. Like, you know, the human behind the screen. I put into so much into not disappointing people on Twilight Struggle that I kind of started falling apart in my own life.
Ah, I see.
And I wanted to get it back together, so, I left the mod.
Good for you.
And I handed it off, and the team has doing stuff since.
Are you able to talk about the direction of the team since you left, or is that not allowed?
They haven't changed much direction, like in terms of actual content being planned. I was in the server the other day again, and I haven't noticed, like, them reworking mass content changes. They actually did kick a guy for trying to, like, rework a bunch of stuff as soon as I left, so that was cool of them.
Just hold on, guys. Hold on.
You planning to mod something in the future? No, but I'll help you mod something. I'm just kidding. Actually, I'll give advice if you need it. But I am kind of done modding. I might make my own channel now, and I might make a game. I want to learn a better language. I used to be good at JavaScript because I made, like, a Minecraft mod pack that I never finished. In, like, what? That was, like, 8th grade, I'm gonna say. Yeah, 9th grade. Somewhere between. Yeah, somewhere between.
Indy, I'm gonna need you to entertain the stream for a couple minutes, if that's alright.
Oh boy, you don't want to say that. I'm gonna get way too entertaining.
Alright, 2 minutes. You're getting 2 minutes to entertain that.
Everyone, how are you? Oh boy. That's unfortunate. You just left here with me. Sultan of Asa submits to Italian demands. Unsurprising, unfortunately. You're a retard. How about you learn to play the game, Asa? How about you learn to, instead of submitting, you fight like a Chad? Why you just have to cuck over like that? Entertain us, fool. You ain't no dog. Anyways.
Alright, Indy, I'm back. it's my turn to entertain him.
What's your more disliked mods for Hoi 4?
Yeah,
I don't really have any mods I dislike. There's none that I feel strongly dislike about. There's ones I think have had negative impacts over time, but, like, they're not really... That's stupid to say, and also it's, like, really not... The ones that have had negative impacts, that impact is gone, and it's kind of receded.
Oh, Equestria Wardev is in the chat, actually. Koneza, Equestria Wardev, hello. What's my most disliked mod for Hoi 4? Koneza asks. He's asked you already. You've already admitted. For me, it's the Great War Redux, obviously. What about it? So there's a question for you, Indy.
What's is it? What's my favorite mod that isn't Twilight Struggle or Vanilla Redux?
That's a good question, actually.
its name? What's its name? What's its name? What's its fucking name? What was the name? Fuck, what was its name? I don't want to say it was my... Oh, no, I have a perfect answer to this. That's way better than the other ones I was thinking of. NSEG. My favorite mod is NSEG of all time. NSEG. All start dates. 1914 to 1944.
I like the
I've beaten
40.
Well, I've beaten 1914, 1915. I've beaten every start date except 1945.
That's just the hardest one. You really can't do anything.
Yeah, I never actually do that. And I actually did cheat in 1944, so...
And
that was a long time ago, when the game was easier.
2 years ago, because before I started modding, I used to be like a very meta sort of gamer. Like I used to be obsessed with dankies and stuff.
Dude, that's how you... Yeah, you're always like a meta player before you mod. You're always in your multiplayer trying to like, dude, I'm gonna cook on everyone. But then you realize you can cook on by cooking the game for them.
Yeah, and then you stop playing Hoi altogether, just code only.
Yeah, that sucked. When it came to the game, I wanted to leave Twilight Struggle so much because I hated the game that I was coding.
That is a common thing. A lot of modders. Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off there, but a lot of modders who start out as really passionate players who want to create something new, they just get burnt. They just end up hating playing the game and just owning like the coding part.
Yeah, and I've never seen that in like Minecraft or Fallout or any other modded games like Doom. Never ever seen that. There's something unique about like Hoi 4. I think Hoi 4 really is. There is some truth to saying it's like a game you have to be like a sort of social outcast to play, because to have
really unemployed
not to
play.
be like, yes, but to be a modder, dude, you have to be so unemployed. Like the only reason Twilight Struggle did well is because the fucking landscaping store that I used to work at for 2 summers didn't hire me for the season of 2025 after they had promised me a pay raise the previous season, which fucking sucked. Anyways, I decided to just grind on Twilight Struggle all summer. But because I was fucking unemployed, dude.
Yeah, there's a guy here from Latvia. There's a minister called Married to Latvia. And then there's another one called Hardline Latvian Nationals. I found the 2 strongest Latvians, bro. Married to Latvia and Hardline Latvian Nationalists. Dang. So...
Dude, Old War Blues, I love Old War Blues. Old War Blues... Hey, Coldova, this was my... Okay, wanna hear my... Oh, I already told you that. Coldova had a good point the other day about like how... that I wanted to say earlier was like that the old extremism of mods, like old political extremism, often had to do not with just ideological extremism as in it contradicted itself or it doesn't make sense. That's wacky. No, it was the extremism of not just ideology, but as I said, war and history. Like actual historical extremism.
Yeah, and it attracts those people.
Technological extremism. Like I remember all old wacky mods had like wacky technology. There was a great mod that died a painful death for not a painful death, I don't know how it died. I wasn't allowed on it when I tried to join, but it was really cool back in the day when I was a player and not a modder. It was called Godspeed, A Flame for Winter. That was like so cool to me when I was like a kid that couldn't like, I think at the time that was a thing. I couldn't actually play the workshop because I had a pirated version of the game at the time. I hadn't bought it on Steam yet.
I see. Interesting. Right. So let's move on. What are you planning on doing now? Since you're essentially retired from modding. You are still modding. I still see you posting teasers out there, but you're not doing modding at the same capacity you used to do. What are you planning to do now, I guess?
I might keep working on my degree, Well, yeah, definitely. I feel like I might. What I might do, actually, and this is a might, is a channel, like a YouTube channel.
And you used to be a YouTuber, right?
I don't think it'll be. I made videos a bit in the past. They were like time-lapse videos of like me playing a game, you know, this game, Hearts of Iron 4.
Hey,
But I
you're
really
a
want to
foil
do
for
videos that
time-lapse,
aren't
though,
about a
are you?
game. Why am I a time lapse? Not like they weren't like time lapses of the game. They were of me playing. Like I'd edit my footage and like add edits and stuff and like do cool shit. Kind of like
Well, that's...
there was a guy who was really cool back in the day named Henway. Henway kind of showed me what he would do, and then I kind of got inspired by that. And Henway was just the coolest dude back in the day. Does anyone remember Henway? The original, like, he was like one of the first OG time-lapse YouTubers back when Mountain General back when Mountain General was not only not a thing, but was also just a small time-lapse channel. Does anyone remember when Mountain General was just a fucking... No way, bro, he just said pickled onion. Nah, dude, that's crazy.
Pickled onion.
Oh, the music is,
Too loud?
called, Pianissimo Epilogue. Pianissimo... How do you pronounce that?
Hill to
Pianissimo
Pianissimo.
Epilogue. Pianissimo Epilogue. It's the, soft ending from Silent Hill.
I see. So, where were we?
Get it? Because I took the soft ending to Hoi for modding after I had all this shit on me. Oh! Poetic to play that in the stream. So everything Indy does is for a reason.
Right, so. You're planning on going back to YouTube. That's what you're talking about. You're planning on going back to YouTube.
Yeah, I wanna... Yeah, so what kind of inspired me was doing this, like, kind of like... Well, I'm a Boy Scout. I did BSA. I'm an Eagle Scout. And I, when was this? Yeah, this
Are you
was...
in ROTC?
2 summers ago. No, 2 summers ago, I was a camp counselor at a... Yeah, that was summers. Holy shit, that was that long ago? No, that was 23, dude. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm thinking to myself. 23 was when I went to, it was basically my first time actually being in charge of like a camp as a camp counselor. And there was like these, so I have Asperger's. I have what's called like a very light form of autism. Hey, Indy, it's Otto. I'm one of your writers. I've written nothing. Big sorry, bro. Otto Von Biscuit, just keep cooking fire vids. No problem, Otto Von Biscuit. You're a Chad. Just keep.
Wait, Otto. Wait, Otto's here. Hey, whoa, Otto.
Yeah, he is, bro. Otto's here, bro.
Wait, what do you mean Otto's a writer? Oh, I know he writes for. He said he was writing for.
He's my top guy, bro. He's my top guy, bro.
Wait, is he?
Top guy, bro.
Is he in Vanilla Redux?
Bro, you don't want to know what Indy has done for Otto. Like Indy, there's been secret missions in the background that parties in this organization don't want to know for this.
Yeah,
bro,
Otto, I know
you
write for a lot of mods, man.
You gotta put those quotation marks, alright? He writes for a lot of mods.
You know Otto actually is a modder like us. He originated in the modding community like us. So
that's how all YouTubers start, dude.
No,
and like these small channels that grow out of the modding community, they all start out of like a guy who modded. You, what's his name? The Cyclop, Otto, a few others. The goat guy.
Cyclop actually
made Arcade Plus.
Cyclop made Arcade Plus, which is a really good mod. I'd recommend you guys check it out. It's really before God of Dameron came out, it was the best one for.
No, it's the best vanilla mod, hands down, I think.
Otto writes for Twilight Struggle?
With Best on Europa, it's so fun.
What do you mean? Otto writes for Twilight Struggle?
Well, he's on the dev server. You didn't know that? You never noticed him?
Bro,
when you were in there?
Well, my
Yes,
dev
bro,
server
he's a
perms got
partner, he's
removed
observer.
recently, so I didn't notice, but that's crazy. So me and Otto have technically worked on the same mod.
Corvus, why did you kick me from the dev server? That was very
Corvus, why
silly
did
of
you
you.
kick
The people
me?
did not recognize. Yeah, I know, but Corvus, just so you know, the people of the public server don't exactly recognize you as like the prepper head honcho yet. You need to be a little more like
Yeah.
like you
Establish
can't
an identity.
disrespect the guy that has where most of their legitimacy is viewed from so early. You have to like. So if you were to, like, say, permanently kick me and coup me to steal a mod, you have to do it in a really smart way. You can't do it in a dumb way. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyways,
just kidding, Corvus. I love Corvus so much.
yeah, we're
He's
just
a
kidding.
good
We're not
guy.
talking. We're not talking. We love you, Corvus.
Oh, bro, Cognoscency time. I love. Oh, that's gonna be a good video. I love Otto's style, dude.
Yeah.
The fucking.
Otto was the
He's like the style I always wanted to see a video on. Like, I
He's
always
like a
wanted
mix
to
of
see videos.
Swinsball. He's a mix of Swinsball and history documentaries.
I know, dude. Like, when I was like, I want to say like in freshman year, I was like, man, I gotta say, if there was a guy who actually mixed this in with like a history documentary to make it an actual like alternate history video mixed with Wave 4, this would make little Jimmy Indy so happy. But it didn't make little Jimmy Indy happy because little Jimmy Indy wasn't around by the time that actually happened.
You guys surprised Otto's here? Otto's been one of my earliest YouTube friends, actually. Very, very early. I think the first YouTuber I talked to was actually Jonathan 800, and Jonathan 800 will be posting a collab with me soon, but stay tuned for that. But Otto is one of the earliest YouTubers I talked with when I started Aerolog, mainly because he, originates from the modding community himself. So modders recognize modders. There's not a lot of us when it comes to YouTube. There's maybe 3 or 4 of us. The rest of them are just all game players.
What I wanted to say earlier was that I'm moving on. I might move on to like a YouTube channel, and where I got inspiration is that there are. When I was at that scout summer camp, there were 2 younger scouts that I had to work with at one of my jobs that were like me, autistic, but they were a little less functioning, or maybe just younger. And I want to maybe make a channel that focuses on trying to help like teens and maybe young adults, mostly males with Asperger's, to sort of like guide them in life or like give them advice on what they should do and what not to do, mostly on what not to do.
And that's a big reason why you want to do a channel.
Well, I think that would be something I would be passionate to talk about is, life lessons for guys who need
they need a little guidance.
Like, if it wasn't for the vocal fry on my voice, you would never suspect I have autism.
Honestly, I just always thought of you as a, simple, normal guy, dude.
Exactly.
El Generico.
Yeah, but, like, if it wasn't for the vocal fry, bro.
Yeah. Nah, your voice isn't even that bad, man, trust. But,
No, it fucking sucks.
we're coming back. So, do you want us to, like, have a bit of a balance between, modding?
Why do I have to have such a Chad frame, but such a gay voice? Like, why did God do this to me?
Yeah. But we were talking...
Put my strongest coder into, like, a twink voice.
God had to nerf you somehow, dude.
Yeah, they had to nerf me. Dude, God added so many nerfs to me. He got me expelled in 8th grade because I made, like, a joke about...
What?
Actually, I won't go into that.
I don't think that's YouTube friendly, man.
Oh, I made a joke about Thanos and the school didn't know what it meant, so they freaked out.
Oh, I see. Was this during Infinity War or something?
Yeah, and I said I was gonna Thanos snap the kids on my birthday list or something. Yeah.
I see.
And they thought it was like a threat or something. It was so weird.
Right. So. if we could circle back a little bit, right?
I sound like a chud. I look like a chud, but I have the heart of a Sigma. Go back to 2022, dude. Go back to 2022.
Kunesa, do I need to screenshot this and send it to your?
Like, that's 2022.
So then it's
We're
a
in
question we'll head
2026.
devs. Bro's
Who
got
the hell says Sigma, dude? Sigma?
Bro's
No?
got the Colonel
26?
candle.
2026? Sigma?
Otto, mate, you can come on stream anytime if you want, by the way. But right, we were talking. I mean, let's keep the interview going. But we're talking...
Totally normal per. It's rare to see people in the Hoi 4 community with autism. I hope you're joking. I really do. Because
Right, let's just go back a little bit, Indy. So you're saying you wanna, right, you're saying you wanna go back to you wanna do YouTube, but you also wanna do the Pound Presidency, right? Also, so I'm assuming
a little bit in my spare time. I want to work on have a little code thing that I can just have something fun
chip
to do
away at
if I feel like it.
So overall, Indy, would you say that you've moved past obsessively grinding over modding, but you just want to do it for fun? You want to do stuff that makes you happy, makes you have a hobby, makes you have fun. You want to make modding fun again. Is that what you're trying to say? And you want to do other things that are fun, like make a YouTube channel to help people.
I want to make modding, fun again. I want to explore the immense creative potentials that are left, and that's what I did. Let me read you something. I'm a book I am.
Bro, I
Gotta read you something. Fire in the chat. Not really, it's actually really cold. In shop.
Why did it start on? Oh, it started the civil.
Everyone, this is an excerpt from the last page of Right-Wing Communist Manifesto. Well, Chud Communist Manifesto version. Alrighty. Everyone, modding is shit, so this is what I will leave off with. Faced with this destiny, there is only one worldview that is worthy of us, the aforementioned one of Achilles. Better a short life full of deeds and glory than a long and empty one. The danger is so great for every individual, every class, every people that it is pathetic to delude oneself. Time cannot be stopped. There is absolutely no way back. No wise renunciation can be made. Only dreamers believe in ways out. Optimism is cowardice.
Nice one.
We are born in this time and must bravely follow the path to the destined end. There is no other way. Our duty is to hold on to the last position, without hope, without rescue. So hold on, like that Roman soldier whose bones were found in the front door of a stepbed in Pompeii, who died because they forgot to relieve him when Vesuvius erupted. That is greatness. That is to have a race. That this honorable end is the one thing that cannot be taken from man. And coders, just remember, far left, far right, it's all fucking retarded. Goodbye. I love you, Glaralog. I have to go now because I'm really tired.
Alright, thank you everyone, thank you to Indy for joining. Just want to emphasize that.
Oh, and if you ever want to hit me up for coding lessons, please do. I'm really good. I can teach you how to code in voice chat.
Era, you want Otto, you want to join the stream? Alright, sure. Indy...
Oh yeah, I'll stay if Otto's joining. I'll stay if Otto's joining.
What do you mean you want to stay if Otto's joining? Okay.
There can't be 3 people?
We can add Otto to the chat. Indy staying, I guess.
Yeah, 3 people. Okay.
Okay, you gotta invite him into the group chat, man.
Yeah, I'll do it. Here.
Bro, Otto is begging me just... Okay. Hey, Otto.
What's going on?
Well, Indy was about to go because it's kind of late, but
So I heard on the stream. I've been watching.
38.
Yeah. I might quit this Latvia game because I started the Civil War back. This was supposed to be a interview with Indy, but hey everyone, Otto von Biscuit has joined it.
I'm here. Hi.
Hi.
The great Otto von
I
Biscuit.
got dough. I'm doughy. I'm flaky. It's what they say.
So Indy, are you still tired and wanting to go?
No, I want to play something really quickly. Wait, do I have it still? No, I don't. Damn, that's sad.
All right. Well, guys, you get an extra stream. I'm gonna edit the stream title. Interview with Otto. Interview with Otto from Biscuit and Indestructible Indy.
Otto
Say
von
Indy.
Peak.
Otto von
No one
Peak,
knows
yes.
what Indestructible M is.
Yeah.
It's my Minecraft
Indeed.
username from 2008.
Hey, bro, I think you got a super chat.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You got a
Yo,
super
he
chat,
did.
dude.
Yo,
That's
who
crazy.
is that guy? Who is that guy?
Who?
I remember.
A coffee. What's your favorite kind of coffee, Era?
I like,
Mm,
you know, I like black. Oh,
You like black coffee?
Otto, bro. I didn't see the. Why do you? You don't have to, dude. The last. What? Otto, dude. It's fine. I don't make money off YouTube currently, so it's fine.
Oh
Thank you so
boy.
much.
Oh, you're
Dude, the
lagging.
stream's
Oh
cracking so
boy.
hard. Yeah, the stream's cracking. No boy.
It said error. There's a cyclone. There is a cyclone
Oh my
in
gosh,
Perth
he
right now.
found like a fucking one of those pellet guns that's malfunctioning.
He poured.
Hello? Hello?
I'm sorry,
you should have
dude, but you're
given
a
this money to
malfunctioning
me,
Nerf
you
gun
Glimbo.
now.
We'll start a stream. You goof.
Yeah, you should start streaming.
Aren't you my sub anyway? Why would I give you money? That's not how this arrangement works.
All right.
Yeah, this is the patronage system. This is mafia.
The voice was
You
cracking.
pay the Casa Nostra your fair share. They pay the boss their fair share. And it goes up from the levels from there.
I have a feeling
cares
my
anymore.
stream was lagging because there's a fucking cyclone right now.
Oh, there's a cyclone?
There's a cyclone.
Are you that meme of that like Australian into the desert and like the desert's trying to kill him?
Yeah, that would be me.
I gotta find the image.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
yeah,
it's hard to explain what I'm saying. Australian
Eric, can you free Mick
cyclone
Gordon for
meme.
us? Can you free Mick Gordon on stream?
Here we go. Here it is.
All right.
Can
You
you,
live in West Australia. Can you free Mick Gordon?
Eric, can we show the stream this photo?
What is this? How
This
I don't know
is
how
you
OBS works.
currently. Okay, if you go into OBS, you can add an image
Oh,
in your scenes, and then you can download the image I sent you and put that image in.
you know what? We're just gonna show my window because I'm too lazy to do image capture.
Oh no! Oh god, you've doxed me. You've shown my full user address.
All right, here we go. There, everyone, you can see this is what Otto sent me. I am a tornado guy. I'm this. This is me. This is me currently. There's a cyclone near my house, but Also, Otto,
Look, I'm looking at the fucking
look at
stream.
the
and it
stream
looks
just explode.
hilarious.
The minute I put that up on stream, the stream exploded. I think we just doubled our stream viewers.
The stream exploded. You're right.
Nah, Otto.
Look at this shit.
Did I?
It's yeah, it is an old meme, but like, it's true. It's where he lives. He literally is that.
Yeah. Anyways, Otto, please don't buy me stuff again. I don't do YouTube for money. You know, I don't really have any money from YouTube. Still
I
haven't
don't
been
do
paid yet.
YouTube for money either, but I make a lot from it.
No, I haven't made it.
I make a
still
few
made, I
hundred
think
off of it.
Pax Historia, the sponsor, has paid me like less than $10 when
Yeah,
converted. to
PAX.
Swiss.
I think PAX owes me $24, but my average video gives me like 100 to 200. So I haven't given them my PayPal yet. So there's just $24 if I want it. At some point, I can get it from PAX Historia for that one ad I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll do another. I don't know.
I
don't know because I like PAX Historia,
well, PAX is a
but like
PAX is a good game, I think. Their owner is a friend of mine.
it's all right.
Only it's one of the
I
better
just-
uses of AI.
I'd say it's pretty good, but I also think it's goofy. Like, because the things that you can do, literally, like, all I have to do is just have slight historical knowledge of a situation and just go, hey guys, it'd be really a good idea if you let me annex you. And they just go, really? Can I have autonomy? And I go, you can fucking practice your religion all day. And they go, really? I think we can accept this deal. And then I annexed them in one turn. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I had Xinjiang and Mongolia and Tanatuva all annexed into me as the Soviets, like, turn one. They were just like, what about our traditions, our language, and our Buddhism? And I said, and they were cool with it. They just they went right for it. They just and right into the Union. And I did basically the same thing with the Chinese, like the entirety of China. I said, hey, guys, Japan's coming? Dude, you need my help. How about we unify? And the CCP said, that's a great idea. And the Kuomintang said, that's a terrible idea. Let's not do that. And I said, you know what? We're going to do that. And I'm going to do it with the CCP and not you. And then I just invaded and annexed China by the end of 37.
You're Zhang Zulang.
Did the
Slightly. Did the stream what?
The stream's dying. Sorry.
I think it's.
Oh, it's back up. All
right. Shortly thereafter, like, I said, okay, I'm gonna rename my country. It's now the Eurasian Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and they just went, yeah, you can do that, and it just changed my name, and it's like, okay, all right, what's next? Oh, the British want to have a sit down with me. Okay. And Britain goes, we don't like that you're expanding. We're actually going to guarantee the Yunnan clique. And I go, okay, I'm allying with the Germans. And they go, oh, you can't do that. And I go, I'm doing it right now.
It's a good accent, actually.
I'm splitting Poland with them. I'm splitting Poland with them right now, actually. Actually, we're sitting down and getting a deal together here, actually.
Can you do an Aussie one, mate?
And do an Aussie accent. I can do an Aussie accent.
Man, you should be a voice
actor. Do one, mate.
Anyways, since we have Otto here.
Could do.
Otto, now, Indy, do you want to... Indy, would you... Sorry. Indy. You're fine if we move on from, like, Twilight Struggle and stuff, right?
That's totally fine.
Yeah, Otto. Should we talk about the recent developments that we've both been posting about?
Tell you what, I've actually got a compelling question for Indy. How's the oil crisis in Iran affecting your bottom dollar, mate?
That is scary. That is really scary. That is really awesome.
It would be if I owned my own car, but I don't own my own car, actually.
Mate.
You don't have a car?
Mate. No, I just take the bus to school.
Oh, you go to school. All right, yeah. See, I'm 22. I've got a full-time job, and it sucks.
I'm 21, and it sucks, dude. I hate my life.
It does. Dude, I
actually don't hate it as much as I used to. I hated being 19. 19 was awful, and so was being 14.
Dude, I hate when, like, every American, when they turn 21 years old, they the government comes to your house and they attach a funnel to your head, and they suck the life out of you and up your taxes by 5%. I really hate that part of being an American.
Oh, yeah, the taxes.
Yeah, I definitely sound like an American right now.
Otto, that's fucking scary.
Like
totally.
Otto, that's really scary. That is a really scary accent.
I can switch accents if you wish. I can go to something else.
Yeah, I'd like Scottish.
You want Scottish? I can do that.
That'd be great.
Hey, you wee lad. Yeah, I can do that for you.
Yeah, that's fun.
Otto, let's
the oil crisis ain't affecting you no much.
Otto,
the oil crisis has been happening quite a bit.
Let's talk about something else.
I can't do accents.
Let's talk about a bit feedback gaming. Yeah.
Feedbot gaming.
Let's call him
Feedback gaming robbed me. He stole everything I owned.
He robbed you?
He sold
really?
it Yeah, he robbed me and he sold it on eBay. It was really sad.
Exclusive,
honestly.
brand new scoop here. Feedback Gaming is a thief. He's actually stolen from a Eagle Scout. Scout's honor. He would not lie.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is wow, dude. Feedback Gaming in jail just a week away. I can't
His
wait.
next video.
Just a week away.
Feedback Gaming's next video is gonna be breaking out from British jail.
This would actually be my first public verbal statement regarding FeedSack.
Verbal, not
Which is,
written.
You know, I've put plenty of text on the internet,
Yeah,
but
me
I've not
and
put
you both,
any
mate.
words.
We're the keyboard warriors.
Here's my like most on the spot, unthought out opinion. If he isn't botting and he is just paying for promote, the numbers still show that his community does not give a fuck. Even before he pays for views, they just don't care. They just don't care. I think I'm gonna get more engagement on my Iran meme video that I just did than he gets on his average video per capita. I think, like, I got more engagement on my Cheerwine video. Bro, that was literally, I woke up at 10 a.m., I screamed into my mic for 30 minutes, and then I edited it together before I went into work at 1 o'clock, and it got me like 12,000 views. And it's a channel trademark now. I gotta do more shit like that.
Got it, mate. Less high quality. You will eat the slop.
Literally, like, if the kind of passion that I put into the Cheerwine video, if I could just put that into every video that I make, I could put out a video a day. Because literally, the Cheerwine video took me 2 hours, but it also was only 2 minutes long. But it was yelling the entire time, like, bunch of editing. I came up with a bunch of bullshit. I wrote a script, you know, in a 3-hour time frame. I just put it all together. Just spur of the moment. I cracked open a Cheerwine when I woke up, and I went, "Holy shit, this is good! Holy shit!" And I just psyched the fuck out. And there we go. That's the video. I can do it.
Drink. Like, what cigarette
I don't
do you
smoke.
Use you take? Oh.
No, I don't smoke.
All right, let's keep this PG-13, guy.
Damn.
I don't smoke, but I do take crack cocaine.
Oh, okay, fair.
That's not true.
All right, disclaimer, that is not true.
Yeah,
Do not believe that.
That's not true.
Good.
Crack cocaine, that's not a real substance, by the way. Don't believe what the media tells you. All right? It's not real. The CIA invented it to keep you poor.
All right, Otto, let's
like
go. Let's get back
big
on track
tobacco
here,
was
mate.
oppressed by big capitalism.
Back on track. Right.
Back
Which
on
one?
track.
Daytona,
both
Talladega?
you and
I love
Indy,
NASCAR.
I'm having to pull you guys back into the questions, but so you know, feedback. You know, he's scamming people. He's frauding people. His girlfriend's frauding people, as a online creator.
His girlfriend, by the way. I saw that that post on KF. Man, nice tits. I mean
no comment. But yeah. If for those of you who don't know, Feedback's girlfriend is a certain type of creator on a website whose CEO recently died, and she is currently under fire for attempting to scam her paid members by using an agency to have men DM clients instead of her.
Yeah,
as the old saying goes, similar people attract similar people, and I can see why Feedback Gaming is dating her.
You may have paid to speak to a British model, and
35-year-old also, don't forget.
A 35-year-old British model, and what you actually get for your meager monthly fee is you get a private chat. you get a private chat with Enrique Vasquez, 24 from Colombia.
That's a real one,
By the way, he's going to speak to you in broken English, but it's indistinguishable from Cockney, so same difference.
Anyways, aside from feed slime gaming, Indy, although you talk about this also, but the Fire Rises thing, the journalist, ooh, not good.
Yeah, what about it?
You know, well, what's your takes? What are both your takes?
Nothing's
Obviously,
gonna happen.
I sent an email. I sent an email to him.
It's pretty obvious.
I sent a strongly worded email. Did you see the email I sent? I put it in my.
Yeah, you put it in your server, right?
Yeah. Might invade the Fire Rises. I think they're gonna have to like invade the Fire Rises, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, dude, I need to check and see if he's responded. Pull up my Gmail.
They need to march down to like wherever Fire Rise's headquarters building is and just burn it. That's what Canada needs to do. They need to like do 1812 on that. That's how the only way they can win. Otherwise, nothing happens.
Holy shit! Okay, you're hearing this first live, guys.
All right, let's get this on screen. Get this on screen. Otto, get this on screen. Pull it up on the put it up on Discord, and I'll put it on stream.
Okay, let me try and do that. So Zach Becerra has actually responded to me. Ooh, he's actually responded. Let me share screen.
You're hearing this live, first time, everyone. You are hearing this live from. Wait, Otto. Yeah, give me a second. How do I stream a stream? This is gonna be very laggy for the people. Okay.
So, okay. Basically, what he says is, "Hi, Otto. Thanks for writing. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. What's a good time? I generally work Pacific time, Monday to Friday, but I can be flexible if there's a window outside of that you prefer. I'm happy to set this up on Zoom, Google Meet, or any video conferencing service of your choice. In advance of the interview, it would be helpful for me to know a bit more about you. You mentioned you're a former developer. Can I ask when you stepped away from that and if you were one of the original developers on the mod? During our conversation, I'd also ask that you provide me with your name and some proof that you say you are who you say you are." Well, this is a non-starter. I'm not giving him my name. This is something we ask all sources for. We generally prefer to attribute all our quotes, but we can make exceptions if you have concerns about the publication of your identity.
That one, yeah.
Okay, so maybe. For example, you'll note in our first piece that we withheld the full name of a source we quoted because he was concerned about harassment. Rightly so. I'm also attaching the briefing note that the previous story is based off of. This was created in Canada's Integrated Threat Assessment Center, and we obtained it via access to information legislation, commonly called FOI in Canada and the States. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the note and your response to the argument it advances. All the best. Looking forward to speaking soon. He sends me this PDF, and it's that leaked thing that you showed me earlier.
Yeah, it's the one I leaked.
Yeah, so this is, for one, this doesn't back up his claim at all. It says right here, it's predicated on standard accelerationist narratives where the existing world order collapses under social and economic pressures, yada, yada, yada. Standard accelerationist narratives. An accelerationist narrative is not new. It's used in Medium all the time to showcase different scenarios or to showcase more chaotic scenarios. But it says right here that there's no tie, really, to any specific group. However, it does allow people to peruse storylines that showcase these groups. It doesn't necessarily showcase them in a good light. It doesn't say anywhere that it glorifies these things.
Mm. Yeah, and this is really just more proof that the journalist, Zach, whatever he is, really, really selectively. So he's using this report. I talked about this on stream yesterday, but he's using this report, and he's saying, this report proves that, the fire rise is all far right. He explicitly leaves out the part where the Canadian government realizes the fire rise is not a threat, has no real, actual, significance. But Mr. Zach Viscera here conveniently leaves out that part. And look at that paragraph, Otto. Zoom into the one. So TFR also allows users to pursue storylines. That one, right? He conveniently only includes that paragraph of the report in his article, right? That his entire article only references this little part in his from his article from the report. He conveniently also leaves out the part of the report that actually says, no, it's not just far right radicalism, it's all sorts of radicalism. You can see anarchist or politically left factions, various a little bit up, right? On the left, anarchist exactly. So Mr. Zach Viscera here, by having this leaked, right, it's basically shown he is extremely biased, right? He's literally left out the assessment that says TFR is not dangerous at all, and he's based his entire article of that one paragraph. Mr. Zach Viscera is pretty fucking dumb.
To be fair to him, right? In the assessment itself, users engaging with the content of the game will very likely be exposed to violent imagery and narratives and potentially members or sympathizers of real-world extremist groups. Now, full exposure, right here, right now, I'm going to go ahead and just pull this off the screen now. I've had people who join my server, and they're of all walks, right? I've had far left folks, I've had far right folks, and I've had to ban a number of them from both points of the spectrum, because we've had virulent Stalinists who, when you say that they're basically fascists, really don't like it. Like, this one got real pissy. I mean, super mad. You know, and I didn't even call him a fascist. I said that, but there was very little difference between Stalinism and fascism. When you boil it down to economics and administration, it's all very top-down controlled, and there is an element of patriotism that is being grown within each one, though it's done differently on different principles. The main difference is the colors, the uniforms, and the emblems, rather than actually how it functions. And that's what I get at with that kind of thing. These extremists tend to be, either wing that they are just oddities. They're not the majority of people. And the few times that they've been in my server, I think I had one say that they were part of Patriot Front. I don't know if you know this. Patriot Front members are not supposed to disclose that they are part of the organization. There are also only around 250 members of Patriot Front. Now, knowing this fact, there is a very high chance that he was bullshitting and he's just a LARPer. And that's about as far as it goes for a lot of the people here. You get 25,000 people in the main Fire Rises Discord server.
All right, everyone, let's hold it. Can you guys entertain the stream? My earphones have just died.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, you get 25,000 people in the Fire Rises Discord server. You get a bunch of people on the Reddit. How often do you actually see in the community, when you've just been in and around it, people actually espousing xenophobic rhetoric? Or, honestly, I've seen more socialists in the community than anything. Having been on the dev team as well, I can tell you the developers are from all walks, all political alignments, but most of them are pretty moderate. Like, there are very few, and honestly, the ones that were more sympathetic to the right were filtered out with the Tsar clique, right? Tsar, I don't know, I can't verify the veracity of this, but it was said that Tsar tried to join the Patriot Front at one point, and I don't know if that's true, but he was rejected. And, you can find images of the guy, like, I can see why. He's like my age, but he's balding. He looks like
He's been doxed, right?
you know Red from that Red from that 70s show?
Yep.
He looks like that, but like just Botox to shit. It's hilarious. Anyway, he's definitely not like the peak physical form that PF is looking for, so it's no wonder they rejected him. But also on top of that, like most of the people that were with him were the ones that had any kind of inclination towards these groups. We got rid of them because we didn't like that. He was the one that wanted to add Mecha Hitler, for God's sakes, right?
Yeah.
When I say we, I shouldn't say we, I'm not on the team anymore, but when I was, we never, ever wrote any line of dialogue, made any event, or any focus tree with the intention of promoting or glorifying any ideology or any individual, no matter how moderate the figure was. Everything has its drawbacks, but what we did, and what the mod will continue to do, I predict, is they're going to make you, as the player, feel like the hero from the perspective of the group that you're playing. And that may not always be something the individual agrees with. I've said it time and time again. The devs agree with it. We spoke about it all the time. People who are worried about you being radicalized on these games do not realize that you're already radicalized. If you came in here and you played a path and you thought, man, this shit's awesome, you were already radicalized. I'll tell you a story. George Lincoln Rockwell. You may know him as the American Hitler, basically. He was the guy that founded the American Nazi Party. He went through the whole World War II, and he read Mein Kampf in 1948. Through his whole life, he had autocratic tendencies. He would provide in school, like, teachers, they'll give you scenarios like, how should you punish this criminal? And he would just be like, kill him, execute him. He would, from a young age, he had these solutions in his mind, and as he grew older, it only got reinforced. His father wasn't present. You'll notice, very common theme, by the way, among fascists in history: absent father, crazy, or abusive. Hitler had an abusive father. George Lincoln Rockwell's father, not even there, not even present. Huge 1920s star. He was like.
Hey, we got to remind ourselves Hitler's mum was his cousin of his dad. So don't forget the inbred part.
Yeah, there's that, but I mean, either way, like the whole plot with Rockwell is that he didn't read Mein Kampf until 1948. Him reading Mein Kampf did not radicalize him, but he read the book and said, I kind of agree with this, and went on. If you read it and you already agreed with it before, well, the book didn't radicalize you, did it? You were already there. If you go to this mod and you play the PF and you play Adam Waffen and you play the NSM and you go, wow, that was great, you were already there. That's not our fault. That's not our fault at all. I don't think there is any responsibility that can be put on that. Now, maybe you learn about the groups for the first time. If you're learning about them for the first time, then, hey, that's a different story. You know what? We're informing you that they exist, and you get to learn about them. And what you learn about them really is nothing good. I don't know about you, but like, if you're playing the Adam Waffen path and you're winning, you're doing good, you're taking land, you're getting events where you're just killing people, you're just murdering folks. If you think that's enticing, you already have problems. Again,
yeah,
not a dev problem. You already had issues.
And that's what me and
you
Indy
were already
talking
skinning.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
like,
is so
and
extreme. You
that's a
have to
big
be
thing.
predicated on that
Yeah.
too, because that it's not so much that it gives you a way to learn about getting radicalized. It gives you an avenue to express already existing radicalism and let you fulfill your fantasies in a video game.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
like
like, yeah.
my videos in large part, they teach the history behind these factions, which are not touched on in the game, especially with certain groups. Like when I spoke with the NSM, I went in deep on the history of Rockwell. On the Adam Waffen video, I went to the very root of the Nazi occult, all the way back to Savitri Devi, 1939, when she became a spy for the Abwehr and was in India. I went all the way to the root and I taught people about it. I spend 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes talking about this stuff, informing people about it. And it's not because I have some need to radicalize people. No, but you should know what's going on in the world. Why should you
That's in the
be
video.
why should you be ignorant? Why should you not know?
Exactly.
There's so many things to know, and we love democracy, right? We want to preserve our democracy. How do you do that with a population of morons? Look around you. Winston Churchill had a quote. The
Oh, that
the
one, yeah.
best argument against democracy is a 5-second conversation with the average voter. That's never been more true than it is today. Every single time that I post a video that talks about a political faction that exists in real life and has a long, illustrious history, and I go through that and somebody sits and watches that, they come out more informed. And they know either to avoid it, or if that's their thing, God, I hope not, maybe they look further into it. But knowing my fan base, I'm sure there's plenty of people who have done both. That's just how it is. When you spread information, that's the beauty of democracy and free speech. You're going to have ideas that clash.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is not to suppress these ideas, but to expose them for what they are. If you don't want people to vote in right wing parties that are going to do big bad things, maybe let people know that it's doing big bad things instead of obfuscating everything and trying to ban it. Like they try to ban the AfD in Germany. They're an anti-immigration party, but you know what their like economic platform is? They're
Liberalism.
liberal. They're liberals. They're Thatcherites. Like that's the most mundane shit ever.
Yeah.
Really? Oh God, an economic liberal policy. Gee willikers, is this Nazi Germany? God,
Yeah, and
no, God.
They didn't even nationalize all the rails and all the resources, guys. They
mhm.
didn't nationalize natural resources.
No, no, they're gonna send the cheap labor home and then cut taxes. No, you can't let this happen. It's a threat to our democracy. A threat to democracy is having an intelligence bureau entirely dedicated to crushing your opposition. That's a threat to democracy. Uh, cough, cough, Germany, BFV, you know, there. I don't like, I don't like the German Republic very much because they just sit there and they perpetuate a decaying center, and all they're doing is causing the radicals to become more bold. You see the elections lately? It looks like 1933 all over again. If you consider that the AfD is the NSDAP stand-in today for some reason, because you have the KPD stand-in, that'd be De Link nowadays. They're gaining in the polls. You have a small communist splinter party, the BSW, that has like 6%. If you actually combine the vote of De Link Splinter and De Link, they have more share of the vote than the SPD. Holy shit. The SPD, that's been a party since 1848, and you've forsaken your ideals to the point that, what? people are voting for the successor to the East German ruling party, the SED. That's how far you've forsaken social democratic principles. That's insane. How'd you let it get to this point? How'd
Yeah,
you
and
let it
it's
get that
they
far?
think the solution to that is just to suppress, opposing
Yes,
views.
it's, yeah, start taking them to court. Yeah, start banning them. Begin proceedings to get rid of the party. Yeah, that's gonna work. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
That's a
which
wonderful
really just
idea.
really comes and ties back to the fire rise situation.
Mm-hmm.
Investigating video game extremism and stuff. You know what really makes people become extreme? Um, it's when
What's that?
you're faced with really hard circumstances. You have nowhere to go, and you know, some extremist goes around saying, "Oh, we're gonna solve all your solutions." Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
not all the reasons why people become extremists, but it's one of the big reasons, right? Extremists look more um appealing the worst conditions get, and outright banning
yeah.
this TFR thing, especially spending $317,000, which is just ridiculous, man. But like you guys were saying earlier, people who are becoming extremists through TFR, it's because they already had that in their mind, and that's a big debate in Hoyful modding, and I completely agree. It's like, I think there's a very good video by the Conduit Gaming out there. He's saying it's a very good video, but he's essentially, it's essentially the point that the fire rises doesn't create extremists. Extremists are attracted to the fire rises, and that's pretty much the big point. And just a heads up, I'm gonna end the stream in 15 because I do have places to be. So you guys keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna head
and
out.
I want to play Gran Turismo like before I go to bed. I want to play Gran Turismo 7 so bad. Um, but yeah, like
Yeah, Error. I'm gonna head out. Thank you for having me. This was
Yeah.
really cool. Otto, really cool to talk to you too.
good to speak to you,
E-
Indy.
yes, thank you very much. It's cool to see you. Everyone else, thank you for showing up to the stream. Awesome to be here, but it's 4:16 a.m. and I'm kind of tired now, so I'll be heading off.
Alrighty,
Bye
Indy.
and see you later.
Been
Peace.
good to have you. Bye bye.
See you,
I
Andy.
guess I suppose we should start wrapping up here because I guess the object just left. I kind of hijacked it. My bad. I'm a very talkative person, and it's 3 a.m., so I'm in that weird mood where it's almost psychoactive. You ever
It's
have
all right,
a
Otto.
sleep
Pleasure to have you any
deprivation?
day.
It's like, yeah, thanks, man.
So, well, this is an impromptu stream. So, what do you want? You can keep talking about, TFR and stuff.
Um, well, yeah, we could.
It's up to you.
Let's see, where was political extremism? Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was raised Baptist by my grandparents, but we didn't really go to church, right?
Mm.
And from a very young age, I lost my faith because my grandmother, the way she explained prayer to me, was that if you prayed for something to happen, it would come true. I wanted her to live through cancer, and she didn't. So I was like, maybe she's wrong. Uh, Real simple conclusion. I made it when I was 12, but not everybody has, of course, the same thinking because, well, there's many Christians in the world. And I still draw towards Christianity somewhat, but that's besides the point. When it comes down to how I was raised, the kind of person politically that my grandfather was, the man that raised me, he was pretty conservative, and him and my mother would fight all the time over politics. And it would get so heated that I would put down my controller and go mediate. And over time, I kind of became a centrist. I kind of came out of it a centrist. I lean left economically, so social democratic, economically speaking. I like Bernie Sanders. Um, but I'm kind of socially conservative. I think that what we have in terms of laws already guarantees gender and racial equality, and it's bringing up the issues again is actually causing the reverse effect. And people say don't use like personal experiences, but my personal experience, um, back when Minneapolis was burning up for the first time, George Floyd and all that,
Mm-hmm.
um, that whole situation radicalized so many people that were around me. I had friends go from being conservative Republicans to buying a British Union of Fascist flag and hanging it up in their room.
Because of George
And
Floyd's in Black Lives Matter.
because they saw the city get burnt down
Mm-hmm.
for something that they saw the guy probably wouldn't have wanted if he was the guy they said that he was. If he was this good upstanding guy, why would you want to burn down the city? $20 million in damages, thousands of jobs destroyed in the local economy. The guy wouldn't have wanted that, you know? And that's what a lot of people were thinking. If this guy is who the people say he is, why would you go and do this? Protest, yes, but you're burning down businesses. We didn't care when they burned down the precinct or the town hall, but why the fuck did you light the Target on fire? What did the Target do to you?
Mm.
A huge Target. How do you burn down a whole Target, by the way? Do you know how
Yeah.
big those fucking places
Mm-hmm.
are?
Yeah,
Do you
and
burn
it's
down a whole...
honestly,
Anyway,
yeah, it's honestly just the unintentional consequences, and I think a big reason for how that also has culminated in anti-establishment is because the establishment, or what people perceive as the establishment, I guess I can't really comment on that obviously since I'm not a political channel, but when you're seeing all the higher ups endorsing something that you've personally seen as destructive, you're obviously going to start disliking the higher ups, and that really leads to more, accelerationist views in the terms of the Canadian government. And I would go so far to say that having such associations between the higher ups in society and the same movements or same things you've seen damage your neighborhood, your community, right? It breeds
hmm
it breeds systematic discontent.
yeah. Like, the main thing that was radicalizing a lot of people, I think, you know, my my conservative friends, they're all white, you know. That shouldn't be too terribly surprising, but um they were seeing an uptick in black nationalism. And you can't deny, if you keep track of American politics, American attitudes, it's been rising. I would argue that we're at the highest peak of black nationalism that the country has seen since the Black Panthers were at their peak in the 70s, right? It went away and it's come back in force, and because it has, because these groups are a lot more vocal, they're armed, they're going around. Um, some of them are pretty professional looking, geared out, uniforms. There's one group that wants the entire state of Texas to break off of the U.S. and be emptied of everyone except for African Americans so
Mm-hmm.
that they can have their own country.
Yes.
Um, and these groups become more prevalent with time. They're represented in TFR through the Black Liberation Army,
Mm-hmm.
and that will be coming in the next update. I'm really, I don't know how I'm going to cover it. It's going to be really hard
1.1.
trying to narrate. It's going to be really hard trying to narrate the Black Liberation Army as a white Southerner. That's going to be really hard to do. I don't even know where to start with that. But um, besides that, like, when you have an uptick in one people's specific racialism growing stronger, other people see it, and theirs reacts. Or the reaction is not always positive. In fact, it's usually negative from what I can tell. People who supported the cause of minority rights, civil rights for all, that the people that supported that do not support it any more than they did before, because these nationalist groups are getting bigger. But people who were on the fence are increasingly going the opposite direction. They're becoming defensive, and they're embracing their own forms of ethnic nationalism. Now, a lot of these friends that I mentioned that radicalized during that time frame have stopped. They went away from it. I got one, he's married now. Wonderful chap. I've actually visited this one guy in person. He had a flag up in his house at one point, and it's gone. And so are his sympathies, and he's back to just being a Christian conservative. It was a real brief high school stint. You know, everybody has one where they believe in some wild, crazy shit in high school. He was that way for a couple years. There were some other fellows around us that were that way. We had one guy who identified as a Himmlerite, which that's just not a thing. I'm sorry. That's just pure LARP, and he didn't know it yet. There's no... Himmlerian Nazism is not fucking real. That's not real. That's not a real ideological doctrine you can follow. Find it. You fucking can't. What is it? Digging around in Tibet? That's not fucking ideology. That's delusion. That's... What do you... That's not an ideology. But when you are 17 and stupid, it counts. So, you know, people were radicalized, and time has passed. Many of them are unradicalized. Many of them have seen the error in their ways. There was one white supremacist that we had been friends with him for years before he had become one, and then he became one. But it was really weird because he played with a Mexican who was in the group with us. And at the time, believe it or not, I was under the impression that I was partially Jewish. Long story, but my mother had told me for years.
Wait, hold on. Partially Jewish?
Yeah, that's what I had been told growing up, is that my father had been partly Jewish, so I was part Jewish. And the truth is, later we got a DNA test, I'm not Jewish at all. But at the time, I thought I was. So the dude was playing with somebody who thought he was Jewish, and also somebody who was Mexican, but he was also a white nationalist at the same time. How do you reconcile these things? Well, turns out he reconciled it by stop believing in it over time, because the longer that you associate yourself with people of other races, the more you realize they're just people. You know, time heals all wounds, but time alone is not a bandage. And even then, why would you ever put a dry bandage on? Put some Neosporin on that motherfucker. The Neosporin in this equation is other people. Talk with motherfuckers. If you're just insular, you're not talking to anybody, you're gonna come up with some crazy shit while you're alone to yourself, coming up with things. You're gonna come up with some crazy shit in your head. I mean, look at the majority of shooters in the country. Are these very social people? Most of the time, people are asked about them, and it's just like, yeah, they never really spoke to anybody. Or they'll say, yeah, I kind of always saw this might happen, you know. And why could you always see it? Did you ever like smile at the guy when you walked by him in the hallway? How you doing today? When I'm at work at my job, every person I walk by, how you doing today? How you doing? Everybody needs it. Everyone needs a little how you doing today. Give motherfuckers basic human courtesy, and you're gonna fix your mental health problem quick.
Yeah, and I think that's just overall that's just a way of thinking in life. If you give people the time of day and people the basic human courtesy, usually they will give it back to you, and eventually problems get solved. All right, Otto, it's been a pleasure to have you impromptu here today. I must run.
Okie dokie.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Depending on how OBS records this stream, I'll see if it stays up. Because lately OBS has been bugging out crazily for me and will refuse to stay up. But for now, thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, everyone. See you later, guys. Stay safe.